Greetings, nature nerds, and welcome back to Ask an Ecologist, the weekly show where we take your questions about the natural world and talk about all things nature. I'm Suzanne Simpson. I'm an ecologist with Bayou Land Conservancy in Houston, Texas. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood here, and I'm glad to be with you today. Let's dive right into your questions. So, our first question is from Chris, who asked, about 2 months ago, I fished Allen's Landing, where White Oak meets Buffalo Bayou. The bayou was full of white bass chasing and feeding on white shrimp. The bayou was full of shrimp, some as large as 4 inches. Is this common? I've lived and fished in Houston my entire life, and I've never seen shrimp in the bayous. Thank you. Well, we do have shrimp in parts of our bayous. In fact, we have freshwater shrimp pretty commonly in our area. Whenever we're doing dip netting studies as part of our environmental education program, one of the things that we'll do is take dip nets, which are like mesh nets that, allow the water to go through them and then the solid things to stay in the net. And we'll do these dip netting studies, and one of the things that we'll find in terms of the macroorganisms that we catch is that freshwater shrimp are really quite common in our bayous, creeks, lakes, and water systems. I think people are so used to seeing crawfish and attributing crawfish with our bayous that they're surprised whenever they see shrimp. But yes, those white, kind of transparent looking shrimp can grow in excess of 5 to 7 inches in some cases. Most of the time I see them smaller than that, more like 3 or 4 inches, but they are definitely ubiquitous in our bayou system. So you were seeing what you thought you saw. You were seeing bass eating shrimp. So sounds like you found a very happy school of bass that had found some delicious shrimp for them to chew on. Thanks for the question. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys today about an event that we have coming up that you can very much be a part of. So the Bayou Land Conservancy Landlover Gala is coming up on Friday, November 13th from 6 to 7 p.m. Now this year we're doing it a little bit differently. It's only an hour long and it's entirely virtual. And that means that everybody can be a part of it. It's free to attend. All you need to do is go to our website and click on register your phone so that you can receive the live streaming information. Now this year we have named our sponsorship levels after some of our favorite local organisms, and I'm going to profile 2 of them in each of these videos over the next few weeks. So let's get into it. First, we have the beautyberry. The American beautyberry is a common understory shrub that you'll see in forested areas. And in the springtime, it produces these really delicate, small pink flowers. And then when those fade, these deep, rich purple berries, clusters of purple berries form. And it's almost unmistakable whenever you see it. So beautyberries are interesting for a number of reasons. First of all, the berries provide great nourishment for all local species of wildlife. Birds and mammals both love the berries, but also the berries are edible. Now by themselves, I've never found that beautyberries taste particularly good. They're kind of peppery, but I've never had one where I was like, yeah, I would love to just eat that by itself. However, beautyberry jam, beautyberry jelly are both delicious. So if you haven't had a chance to munch on some beautyberry jam, you should definitely try it. Beautyberries, like I said, are very common, so you should have a good source nearby where you can check out some beautyberries and maybe harvest them and make them into some jam. So another thing about them is their leaves can be crushed up and then rubbed on your skin, and they can serve as a natural mosquito repellent. And this isn't just a folk remedy that doesn't have any scientific merit. They have studied the oils that are in the beautyberry leaves, and they can serve legitimately as an insect or pest repellent. So it's something to consider. Historically, whenever the cowboys and were riding through, they would stuff their sacks with beautyberry leaves to try and keep mosquitoes away. I myself have certainly been bitten by plenty of mosquitoes when surrounded by beautyberries, so I wouldn't say it's the one fix to stop mosquitoes from biting you, but it's a cool natural repellent that you can try out and see if it works for you. So next I wanted to talk about the bobcat. Bobcats are elusive and secretive, but they are definitely thriving here in Houston. They found a way to adapt to that sort of urban, suburban, and wildland interface. They've been able to thrive here. Bobcats are small mammal specialists, so they are particularly adept at hunting rabbits and squirrels. They're great at that. And they have a couple of interesting characteristics. So for one, female bobcats are super territorial, so their habitats will rarely overlap. So if you happen to run into a female bobcat, chances are that's the only female bobcat that's in the area. Additionally, female bobcats can create multiple dens, and it's sort of a strategic thing that they do in case one of the dens becomes unsuitable for them to occupy. They can move everything to the next location, or sometimes they'll even rotate which den they're occupying, which can provide additional safety for their kittens whenever they're breeding. So bobcats are often mistaken for mountain lions in our area. And part of there are a couple of reasons that go into that. So bobcats are really furtive and secretive, and whenever they leave an area, they're usually running pretty quick, and it can be hard whenever we see a cat in the distance to judge how big it is. And so people will sometimes think that they're seeing something that's bigger than what it actually is, and it moves so quickly that the first thought is like, oh, that was a mountain lion. The vast majority of those are bobcats. You can check out the tail whenever it's running away from you is most likely how you're going to see it. And the bobcats do have that bob tail, that kind of like cut off, looks like it's cut off tail. And that can help distinguish it from a mountain lion along with its size. There are some mountain lions that kind of exhibit this curlicue tail, and that can lead to additional confusion between the two species. But a reminder that mountain lions, there hasn't been a verified sighting in our area for 100+ years, but mountain lions have very, very large territories, so it's not impossible that one couldn't make its way through here, but it would be a transient animal. It wouldn't be an animal that's establishing its territory here, because we just don't have enough of it to satisfy their needs. So bobcats are often, they had a bit of a reputation that caused some overhunting. And now that has cut back a bit, people are starting to appreciate their role in the ecosystem. They really have taken off and become pretty well established in the Houston area. So if you've seen a bobcat at your favorite natural area, let us know below. If you have tried beautyberry jam, let us know in the comments section. And please remember to submit your questions to Ask an Ecologist. You can comment here, you can send us a Facebook message or message us on Instagram, or you can send us an email to info@bayouland.org. We would love to hear from you. We would love to hear your questions. We're going to talk more about our favorite organisms in the next video, and until then, stay wild.